Hello and welcome guys to Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 3 Super. Now, I did do a stream last night of this, which I know some people watched, explaining the new locations, the new hero rank system and stuff like that, but we will sort of mention it a little bit in this video. But this video is for the new island story quests. So, with the new season we have our kickstart quests as always. They're fairly simple, you'll get them as you play, same with the week 0 quests. So I'm not really going to cover those, but the island stories, this is separate to the actual story quests. We will get proper story quests at some point in the season, but not yet. The island stories are more like your individual person stories. As you can see, I have completed Stage 1 for both Shadows of the Shard with Hope and Stage 1 of Robin's training, but they are simply little like quests that ask you, this person needs help, can you go here? So for Robin's one, it says Robin has some new gadgets at his disposal he's looking to have tested in the field at the Slurp Room, so you basically got to go to where Robin is, and that gives you 10,000 XP. Hope's one is talk to Hope about the Mask Maker and listen to her concerns. That then requires you to go to Supernova Academy where Hope is waiting. That then gives you Stage 2, which is where you actually have to like talk to them and stuff. So, without further ado, we are going to do all of these in this video. There is also a quest line from Kendo, but the one from Kendo seems to be hidden for now. So without further ado, let's head to Supernova Academy and get going with Hope's, shall we? So, naturally, being one of the new locations, Supernova Academy can be a little bit busy, especially if you're, like me in this game, dropping really early here. This is one of the first drops on this game. So, like, it might be quite difficult, but all you will have is when you land here, Stage 1 will complete. So, that's why, if you're using the chapters to help you navigate the quests easier, that is why the chapter, the first quest will guide you straight here. So landing here will get that done, and then we go on to Stage 2. So it is just quickly worth noting as well that opposite Hope's room, you do also have Jones's room, and you can talk to him about the Academy and find out a little bit more about this season. Apparently the Academy was actually Hope's idea, so Hope set up the Academy to try and find some heroes that can fight back against Daigo, which is quite cool. But yeah, come across here and we find Hope in quite a large room, and we can ask her about the Mask Maker. Apparently, we are even a teacher at this academy, so that's quite cool. But let's ask her about the Mask Maker and find out a little bit about this story. So, Daigo's changed. He's always been arrogant and reckless, but he wasn't a villain. This is true, he wasn't. And now, we don't know exactly what these spires he's summoning are for, but it's not good. I can agree with that. Kendo is helping me look into what's going on with Daigo. If you want to help, he's ready. Okay, so that then leads us on to Stage 3 for Hope's, which is meet up with Kendo at Shogun's Solitude and discuss Daigo and the Spirit Realm. So I guess we'll head over there, because obviously we've got to go over there for Jade's quests as well. On the way, we could even make a pit stop at Robin to complete Stage 2. So it's also worth noting here at Supernova Academy, there is this secret room as well that you can do for training, which will give you a little bit of a boost. It gives you these rare chests as well. It's quite a cool thing to do. You have to like shoot the targets, collect the coins, and what it'll do is it'll give you a boost on your hero rank, and it'll give you those 3 lovely chests that I just had there. So without further ado, let's continue onwards. So coming over here, this is where you find Robin, the little gas station that used to be by Mast Meadows. Obviously it is now by Demon's Domain. You can also, whilst you're here, hire Robin if you want, but I clearly don't have enough gold bars yet. So once you buy the grappler from him or find it elsewhere, that gives you Stage 3 of Robin's training quests, which is travel 500 meters distance using the Wingshot grappler. So we are going to do that now, just to sort of try this thing out. So from what I know, it works a little bit like the Batman grappler did, in that you shoot yourself towards something and then you can glide. And the gliding in this case uses Robin's wings glider, which is really quite nice. Just a nice little touch. And we're going to do 500 meters, so you're going to have to try and pull yourself quite far. and then fly quite far, I guess, is the way that you want to do this. So maybe grappling onto the top of the spires here by Demon's Domain might help. And then we can sort of fly ourselves around. Nice and simple. And then that completes stage 3 for Robins, which then leads you on to stage 4, which is to deal 100 damage to players within 10 seconds of landing with the Winged Shot Grappler. So seeing as there is someone nearby, we're going to try that now and see if I can do it. Nice and simple. Just like that, that is Robin's questline complete. So, let's continue on with the others, shall we? So, Jade can actually be found on this little island just north of Shogun's Solitude. The problem is, she's hireable. So it would appear that someone got here first and they've hired her. So that's where we'll go to get it, but we can't do that right now. Oh, but it does appear that the person who hired her has actually just died. So maybe we can speak to her. Oh wait, no, there's a person. We're gonna die. Well, we'll go there again, but yeah. That is where she can be found on that little island just to the north of Shogun's Solitude. So let's head back there again, shall we? So folks, here we are. Let's speak to Jade about the sprites, shall we? So, the sprites are what protected me when I was in the spirit realm. They're special. We knew that. They reacted to the island and its energies, and some of them have changed a little bit recently. Yeah, to be fair, that they have. Could you play around with them a little and make sure they're okay? Yeah, I can do that. Wait, that was stages 1 and 2, because stage 2 was to actually speak to her about dash sprites. So, that then leads us on to stage 3 straight away for hers, which is simply collect a dash sprite and use the powers of 0 point dash. So I guess we've got to go find ourselves a dash sprite, which is not actually the easiest thing to do. I'm seeing a lot more of the Superman ones than the dash ones. But let's do that after we've spoken to Kendo. So I'm going to head over to Shogun's Solitude, where we can go speak to Kendo, which should give us his quest line, if I'm not mistaken. So let's head on over there. So the lovely Kendo is actually found out the front, not in Shogun's Solitude. So let's speak to him, shall we? Right, Daigo and the Spirit Realm. I always knew my brother's ambitions would have terrible consequences, but even I didn't expect this. I can agree with that. I didn't expect it to quite get this bad. He went into the Spirit Realm and came back different, and now he's summoning these dark spires. I need your help discovering what's going on with him and whether he can be saved. I hope he can be saved. I did just hear a spire actually spawn just behind me, which is mildly scary, and it's an Overlord one as well, so there is that. But yeah, that gives you Daigo's questline, Kendo's questline next. Stage 4 of Hope's questline requires you to complete Kendo's questline. So I guess we're going on to Kendo Stage 1. Damage players with the Spire Rifle, 250 damage. Shouldn't be too bad, but annoyingly it does say players, so I guess we'll go and find some players to kill. But before I do that, actually, I want to show you guys these spires. So this one spire has appeared, and it is an Overlord Spire, so that means that this one will be quite difficult to kill. I will also just say the Spire Rifle does appear to deal a lot of damage to these things. Don't forget to try and target the ones that are actually lit up for extra damage. But just be careful, because demons spawn in. You've got a lot going on when you're doing these fights, so do just be cautious of that. If you want to deal extra damage, using the gauntlets as well to hit multiple parts at the same time will just shred that spire even quicker for you. So that's what I'm aiming to do here. And then once we defeat the spire, it'll break and it'll give us all of its lovely, lovely loot. We do have a few demons to kill now though. But yeah, that is a little look at the demon spires as well. So, quite big, quite powerful. So I found Robin. I'm going to kill him with my Spire Rifle, which then gives us the next stage. Stage 2, defeat 3 demon guards. Which I guess that's relatively good job on here then at Demon's Domain, as there probably will be some guards left alive here, if we can find them. So, defeating 3 demon guards shouldn't be too difficult for you guys to do. So, let's go find some. So here we are at Demon's Domain again. Let's kill off this guard, and that then gives us stage 3 for this questline, which is possibly the most difficult out of all of these island stories. And it is simply to defeat Daigo or Core, which, obviously Daigo is here, ominous as ever, aura farming as always. So you can either go and kill him up the top, or Core is what has replaced Shogun's Arena. So you can head over to that arena when it spawns in on Storm Circle 2 and defeat Core. Obviously both of them give you their regular mythics and medallions as always. But yeah, you gotta defeat one of the 2 bosses for stage 3, so this one might take a little bit of time. So the annoying thing with the Daigo boss fight is when you go up against him, he spawns 4 masks to float around him that protect him from damage, and you have to destroy those first before you can actually hit him, which is really kind of annoying. But I'm going to use Crypto to deal some extra damage to him, and we'll make of that what we can. His attacks are really quite powerful, which is why you really want to make sure that there is no one else here that could possibly hurt you. I'm really trying to deal as much damage to him as quickly as I can, but like, Daigo, as always, he is a menace. He is all, like, to use brain-rotting like words, he aura farms really big time. And what's even more annoying about it, like that Kitsune style attack is actually terrifying. So like, it's kind of a tough boss fight to go up against, but as you can see, we have taken out the demon himself, the terrifying, dreaded demon, and that then gives you stage 4, which is to destroy a Scout Spire or an Overlord Spire. So I guess we'll go and find ourselves a Spire and get it destroyed, shall we? With wish me luck, because this is not going to be easy. So we're now fighting an Overlord Spire, which these things are really tanky. They will take a lot of gunfire to kill them. And obviously, while it's all well and good that you can target the bits that are weak, once you've defeated all 3 of those parts, you then sort of just have to focus fire on the rest of it, which obviously is not going to necessarily be the easiest thing to do. Because obviously it's going to take a little less damage then, but hopefully we can get it down soon enough. It takes so much less damage when you're not firing weak points. It really does. So maybe the Scout Spire would be a little bit easier of a way to do this quest, but we're going to defeat this Overlord Spire anyway. And then now that we've defeated the Overlord Spire, that then gives us stage 5 for Kendo's storyline, which is simply that we must go and speak to Kendo about Daigo and the Spirit Realm. So it's a good job that we're over here, because let's just head out and down the stairs to speak to Kendo. So here we are. That creature, he talks like Daigo, he moves like Daigo, but there's something wrong That is true, there is definitely something wrong. Some dark force has dominated his heart and mind for some darker aim. If Daigo isn't actually in control, maybe we can save him after all. So yeah, I guess that's true. If Daigo isn't, like, intentionally being evil, we could obviously save him. But I think one thing that Kendo doesn't take into account here, Daigo wanted power anyway. So, like, is he gonna care if it's evil power? Honestly, I don't think so. So that then completes Kendo's questline and gives you the fifth and final part for Hope's. Hope's final quest is therefore report back to Hope and pass along the intel provided by Kendo. So I guess we need to head back over to Supernova Academy to complete Hope's questline then. And then all we've got left is Jade's, which requires me to find this dash sprite, which I've still not done, so let's go find one. And just like that, folks, I've found a dash sprite. So the dash sprite is this little yellow one with the blue mask on, and then all you need to do to use the dash is you throw him down and walk into his little area, and then you get some 0-point dashes. Now, it's quite simple, quite easy to use. And that then gives you stage 4 for her questline, which is to deliver a sprite to a shrine. Now, annoyingly, the shrine that I'm near has already been used. So I guess I've got to go and find myself another shrine that I can go and deliver this sprite to. Hopefully there's one that hasn't been used somewhere nearby. In fact, I think I see one. Look for the white beams for sprite shrines if you don't remember. I can see one just off in the little distance over there. So let's head on over there with this sprite, deliver it to the shrine, and that then completes that quest line. So I've finally found a sprite shrine, nice deep into the storm. And we can deliver this dash sprite to that. It's interesting that the quest specifically requests dash sprite. Is what I find interesting. But yeah, all you gotta do is deliver it back to a shrine. It then obviously gives you a boon, like we expect, and then you can get the sprite back. So, I guess now, all that's left to do is report back to Hope, which obviously we can't do in this game because the Academy is very deep in the storm now. So let's see if we can get a win. I mean, I got one last night. So it's time to speak to Hope and finish off the final questline. Kendo thinks Daigo's being controlled? That makes way more sense, actually. I do agree, because after what the Night Rose experienced, I can't imagine your mind and body betraying you like that. Yes, it is just like the Night Rose was. In fact, even the dojo is almost the exact same way. We have to defeat these spires, save Daigo, find a way into the spirit realm, and confront the dark presence there. Good God, that's a lot to do. So no biggie. Yeah, I agree. It's a lot that we have to try and do. And the problem with it is what's stopping us from being corrupted if we enter the spirit realm? But the true question is what is the big presence in the spirit realm that is corrupting all these people? Is it Geno? Is it the last reality? Is it something completely new? Do we know? No, we won't. And we probably won't know for a good few months. I would expect it to be next season that we find that out. So, with all that in mind, guys, that is your island stories. At least for now. We might get some more later in the season. I know this was a long video, but like I said, chapters are there to help you. So I hope you found the video useful in your quests and informative as always. And I'll see you all in the next one.